Are we live? I believe we are. Let me just check all of the technicals. And if we're live, we're doing all right. If we're not live, then it's only just in keeping with the madness that is. But I think we're live. I think you lovely people can hear me. And I think I have some clue of what's going on. There's people in the chats, which is always a good start. And if you'll notice one thing that is missing from this evening's show, and that would be my trusty co-host, the coffee maker, that is not currently sat here. So yeah, basically you'll have to hold tight, operator, and in the true styles of Gromage, yeah, we're gonna do this live on air. So it's carnage tonight. I really left myself short, and if you're a true avid follower of the vlog, you see that the Grom has been under the weather the last 2 days. So yeah, man. All of the regular nutters are in the chat, and I'm loving it. Hold that thought though. So entertain yourselves. Get in the chat. Have a little conversation while I get my coffee maker. It's all right though, because I can still waffle and you can still hear me. This is what like you don't see. This is like bringing the live to the live. Don't worry, the usual madness of the show will continue as the coffee gets delivered. Yeah, baby. That feels a little bit better. Second to that. The air's a mess, man. Look at it. And the coffee's still steaming, so that's even better. And this week, we have another friend, which is the GoPro. We might even vlog ourselves live so that you guys can see your lovely selves back in a vlog tomorrow. And you could speak to your future selves now. Because yes, if there is anything more madder than talking to our future selves, it's talking to our current selves in the future while in the past. Something like that. So, how have you lovely people been? How has the week treated you? And I hope the universe has been on your side. Because one thing I will say is it seems like many people I know, the universe has not been rolling with them, but more so giving them 10 rounds like Mike Tyson this week. So I hope that you're more in tune with the universe as the weekend sort of peaks over the horizon of this wonderful Friday. And dude, there's some people blowing up the chats already. And as I say every week, I will try my very best to keep a little side eye going on over there to see what you lovely people are at. And as always, I imagine that the group chat will just be full of stoke, awesomeness, and lovely people, which I can already see from here that there's some lovely people and always some stoke. So without no further ado, let's see if we can pour some coffee. And after this week, if I spill it everywhere, it would not surprise me, because it's been a crazy week, guys and girls. It really has. And I just hope that all of you lovely people that have been having a struggle this week are in better stead, are in better health, and in a better place than you were maybe at the beginning of the week. And all I hope is that from here on out, the Friday Night Live show can give you that little je ne sais quoi, that little extra something, that little spice of a Friday night to just get you fulfilled, full of stoke, and all happy and vibey for the weekend to come. So let's do it for the last one of the summer. Like summer season? I don't know. How did they used to do it on these old Friday night shows where they'd be like, we'll be back in the autumn. For the last time this summer, let's start this show right, baby.
Good evening, ladies and gentlemen. You are now tuned in to Friday Night Live with the Grom.
Here we are. Yes, it is the last one of the summer. And we will be back in a few weeks' time. So don't worry, we're not really going anywhere too far. But the Grom is going abroad. Yes, it's true, you heard it here first. And it is probably a little bit of a shock for most people that yes, the Grom does go on holidays. It's been a very, very long time. It's been like 4 years, I think, since myself and the darling Andrea actually stepped foot on a plane and left the beautiful shores of the UK for a sunnier climate. But it is happening. And in awe of that, can you see the ambient amber awe of the room? Yes, that is the feeling that we have because we're going on a goddamn summer holiday. Yes, I understand it's September, but we are donning a plane and we're flying out of this mother trucker and we're going to a climate where it's going to be a steady 35 degrees, baby. So I'm stoked on that. I hope you guys are stoked on that. I understand that you might be a little bit upset for the fact that, you know, the Grom's not going to be here on a Friday night to supply you with all of the madness and all of the awesomeness. But yes, we will be back very soon. This week is complete mayhem. It's completely off the cuff. I don't have my my cue board in the background with my notes for the show. I didn't even get the coffee ready in time. My hair looks like I've literally just crawled out of bed, which isn't far from the truth. And let's just say I think there'll be plenty of coffee needed to get through this show. But if it was planned, if it was scripted, if it was all perfect, it just wouldn't be the same. And saying about not being planned or scripted, I've got to send my first heartfelt message out to the man, the myth, the legend, the Mr. Rick, the host, the originale, the man behind the Cornlight Network for not having a fluffing of the Grom this week. I think this is why the show's a little bit rough around the edges. Because I hope you lovely people got the opportunity to see the live with the Cornlight Network and the one and only Mr. Chill Adventures last Friday. If you didn't see it while it was live, I hope you guys got to catch it after the show because, man, it was awesome. And I need that every week, man. And if you don't understand or if you're not familiar with the term fluffing, I suggest you make sure that if you do look it up on Google, make sure it's incognito before you do, because nobody needs to see that kind of search history, that's for sure. So, who have we got in the chats? We've got some familiar faces, and it does look like we might even have some new faces too, which is always a good thing. So, I see the likes of the Dan Cov, the Cockney Buddha, I see Necrobeam himself. Billy, good evening to you, sir. It must be quite a ridiculous time in the afternoon for you on California time. So appreciate to have you here. Thank you very much. And yeah, there's a few news, and they keep scrolling too quick for me to go back through. But yeah, happy to have all of the new people here on the show as well. I hope you enjoy it. I hope you enjoy the vibe in the chats. And yeah, man, it's always good vibes, good times, and usually a little bit more to a kind of rounded fullness than it's going to be tonight. So it's pure pandemonium this evening. The madness, as I like to say, is truly blooming real. There's been some quite madness in the Grom camp this week. Yeah, I got struck down like a week before going on holiday with a cold. I think that might be a kind of can't even think of the word. Yeah, it's like everything coming to a head at once. So what with calorie counting, massive amounts of trying to get on the slimming of fat and the expulsion of fat, getting down into that 9% fat body percentage, trying to take over the world, trying to rock a full-time job as well as doing the vlog, and then the madness that is the idea of leaving on a plane to a sunnier climate. It's just all been too overwhelming and too much fun. Seems like a few good soldiers around me have been falling as well. So you've all been through the wars, from what I have heard and what I have managed to keep up with on the media groups as such on the interwebs. And so yeah, the first salute goes to all of you for making it here on a Friday night with all of your limbs and all of your body parts and your faculties and the little bit of sanity that we have. So I hope the weeks have not been too brutal to you all, and it's good to see you here. As always, thanks for tuning in. Appreciate the hell out of you guys. And yeah, thank you. Thank you for supporting the lives. Thank you for supporting the vlog. And most of all, thank you for supporting the madness that is me. and the things that we do. So it is kind of a standard issue schedule as the show goes. But yes, sadly, it will be the last one for a few weeks. However, keep your eye on the channel because there might very well be a few lives pushed out while we were in sunnier climates. And I don't know how good the internet connection is going to be where we're going. If it's good enough to have a live, we might even do a little bit of a off-the-cuff mobile phone live vibe. Who knows? It could be next to the sea, it could be next to the bar, or it might just be flaked out on a bed. But hey man, it sounds like a goddamn vibe. It'll be like Yoko Ono and John Lennon all over again, man. Definitely a good vibe for a Friday night if you ask me. But apart from that, we have a sort of standard schedule to keep. There is some news this week. It's very thrown together and it is pure madness. My printer ink decided to run out, so I don't have notes, so it's going to be winged like a winged thing. And apart from that, we will have a shine a light. It's been a little bit overdue, and this is somebody that I wanted to kind of shine the light on maybe a few weeks back, but then everything sort of changed because I missed a week and sort of been playing catch up ever since. So along with that, and then getting hit with this cold this week, it's just kind of putting a wee bit of a dampener on everything. But nevertheless, as the greatest of greats say, the show must go on. But yeah, what more can we say? How has the week been to you? Where are you viewing from? What time is it? What is the madness where you are? And how's the week treated you? Let me know in the comments. Keep on keeping on with all you awesomeness, because it's great to see that everybody's just showing some community love in the chats, and I can see it streaming out the corner of my eye. One of these days I am actually going to take a little bit more time to just be like, hey guys, chat amongst yourselves while I just be part of the community. Because I tell you one thing, I do get back through the chats after the show, and there's been so many comments that I've missed that I wish I'd seen on the live because they're absolutely hysterical. One of them tends to usually fixate around my newsreader's glasses. So yes, thanks for all the abuse from you lovely people when I had donned those fabulous lenses that are. And there's been some awesome comments and some great chat that's been going on in the last, 6 or 7 shows. So I hope that continues. I hope you guys are all kind of buzzing and ready for a new autumn season of Friday Night Live when I get back. The grand plan is to hopefully, between now and then, actually get my act together to the point where we can get a live guest on and have a live feed and have some questions and almost have what you could consider to be quite possibly the best Friday night chat show you've ever seen. Second to obviously the man, the myth, the legend, the Mr. Corn Life Network himself, because I've got a long way to go before I catch up to his levels. So yeah, just bear with me, because that was the biggest thing that I wanted to do in these early shows, and that was to actually get the Friday Night Live vibe going. If you guys were familiar with like Friday Night Live TV from the 90s, wherever it was you were based in the world, there was always somebody on a Friday night that had some co-hosts, some hosts, some live music and some madness. So this is kind of where we'd like to push it to, as well as building a bit of a community, giving everybody a little bit of a time out, check out from the working week and tune in to the awesome weekend ahead. That's the plan. If we stick to it, that's a different thing, because we know that live just never seems to be as straightforward as we want it to be. But apart from that, I think so far we're not doing too bad. I was expecting to blow snot bubbles out of my face, maybe cough about 100 times, and basically just pass out in front of the camera. So we are already doing far better than I expected. Apart from that, I do know that there's been quite some monumental things going on in the world of the people that follow the Friday Night Live. And I've noticed that Mr. Chill Adventures is in the chat. And I'd like to give him a huge shout out, because the voice that you hear saying, ladies and gentlemen, you are now tuned in to the Grom with Friday Night on the intro, is none other than the man, the myth, the legend, the Mr. Chill Adventures. So I appreciate you, dude, for one, being involved in this, and 2, supplying that. And I know going forward, you are definitely one of the people that I want to get on this show, because Our conversations are pretty much the upper echelon of complete and utter bollocks, and we talk some, and it's awesome. And if YouTube don't like me using that kind of phrase, guess what, man, when we come back from this little summer break, YouTube is just going to be like, damn, what did we let loose? Because it's going to be absolute gnarliness, boys. That's all I'm saying. And girls, obviously. And one of the many girls that I hope, and I haven't seen in the chats this evening because I believe she's been working so hard she's passed out, and that is the legendary Van Life Wanda. So guys and girls, if you see her in the chats, please show her some love, because I know she's had a gnarly week. She's been battling an even worse cold than I have, and I just, along with Maria, I would like to send get well soons to, because they've had quite a heavy week, both of those, and I know a few people that have been way more wounded than me. So yeah, my Friday night salute goes to all of you lovely people that have been battling the gnarliness this week. So let's try to keep to some pure madness and some pure kind of attempt at a schedule. Let's cue to the news. We didn't quite hit the number, but we did get them out. So, get them out for the boys. That's what I say. This week's news, it is proving harder and harder to find awesome news stories, but yet the Grom has supplied something for you lovely people before he debarks on a most epic adventure of epic adventures. And this epic adventure of week of news starts with this amazing little story, which is not that amazing. However, kind of a worrying thought. These little punks have been popping up in Wales, and as much as it seems like Christmas come early, beware, beware, beware. So these old gonks or gnomes, however you wish to see them, I'm a kind of a gonk kind of guy. Be careful, because the ruthless underground have been using these cute and cuddly little buggers to find if you are at home or if a house has been emptied for a while. So basically, long and short of it is there's been households within Wales where these little buggers have been popping up, and basically what the criminal underworld are doing are using these to mark a property, and if the gonk goes missing, they know that people are home. However, if the gonk doesn't, they know that the property probably isn't inhabited, and in which case they see it as easy target or easy pickings. So be careful if you're going and delivering gonks to anyone, that you don't get arrested for being a possible burglar. Or on the other hand, yeah, if you see one of these just abandoned in the garden, maybe be a good citizen and just pick it up, steal it, throw it away and be horrible. Something like that anyway. No, but all seriousness aside, I know there are quite some miraculous and clever and cunning plans afoot to just detect those easily vulnerable households or people in those households. So if you see anything like this popping up, or if you know anybody that lives in Wales, make them know that this could be something that they might get targeted with. Staying with Wales, this beautiful little satellite picture was pointed out that it looks like maybe the designer who built this was just a huge fan of Star Wars. I can't remember for the life of me exactly where this housing estate in Wales is, and as I don't have my notes, even if I did have notes, I wouldn't tell you because I'm useless at doing this segment. However, this housing estate was picked out by an eagle-eyed social media person and jibed at that it looks like a Millennium Falcon, and I don't think there's any looks like it at all. I think whoever it was that sort of done the maybe infrastructure or planning for this housing estate was just a god. So yeah, fair play, and I think these projects should be carried out throughout the entire globe as Google Maps becomes a more widely used thing. How awesome would it be that if your next housing estate pops up and maybe looks like your favourite movie character, or even something better like something completely obnoxious from the air? I don't know, it's just a beautiful idea, and I think why not? If it makes you smile, get some. as long as it's not hurting anyone else, why not? This familiar story, if you're a surfer and you've been snaked, then you'll know about how sucky it is and how much of a pain in the rectum that it is when people snake you in waves. This guy, I want to say in Australia though, has been fined for surfing alongside his pet python. Now this brings a whole new meaning to the term getting snaked, because the last thing that you want to do is get snaked by a guy that is actually wearing a snake. So I'm going to coin him Jake the Snake Roberts in awesomeness, because yes, the dude did get fined, and in my eyes, I don't think it's a great idea to go surfing with any kind of pet. And I know it's cool and it's cuddly and it's fun, but I just think, dude, surfing is a vibe and it's a journey. But if that snake wants to go out and buy his own surfboard and gear, then rock on. But for you as an owner to be taking your pets out there, don't do it. Don't do it to your poor pet. Don't do it to yourself, and don't do it to the other people surfing around you. But hey, man, again, each to their own. But yes, that very much does bring a whole new meaning to the term getting snaked. Our last story this week kind of bodes well with a story that we reported a little while ago in regards to one of the biggest alligators, I believe it was, being sort of, let's just say, put to rest, but also going into the record books for being an absolute wee beastie. Just to redeem our love for crocodiles and alligators, I can't remember exactly which one it was, but this photo probably on the screen doesn't do it too much justice. But onlookers were absolutely shocked because they thought a dog was about to be mauled in front of their eyes by, I believe it was a crocodile, when in actual fact, the dog was in distress and it was stuck. And the creature, whether it was alligator or crocodile, maybe one of you avid viewers can pick out the distinct difference between its muzzle and tell me in the comments which one it is. Or go and check out the article yourself. As I like to say, don't believe me, because I don't like to believe anything that I hear or see on the internet without doing my own rabbit holing and going and digging up my own information, because I don't want to be the guy spreading disinformation. But basically, long story short, poor little dog was in distress. I think it was stuck in like a mud flat, and the alligator crocodile came along and actually rescued it, dude. And there's photos after this photo that was taken where like he sort of like nuzzled it up onto the lesser, stodgier mud flat. The dogs are sort of stood there looking in awe the fact that it didn't just die, and the alligator or croc just decided to swim off and mind its own business. But in the report itself, there was something said along the lines of that maybe the animal had sensed the distress and didn't capitalize on it, but they were saying some really intricate things about neuroscience and some gnarly stuff, which went way over my head because it feels like my head is made out of cotton wool at the minute. But this was a beautiful little story, and I thought, hey man, a bit like sharks, alligators and crocodiles do seem to get lumbered with a bad rap. But this little dude deserves a medal. So everybody loves a dog, and to have a crocodile or alligator come along and save its little life, get it out of like stranded territories. Friday night salute goes to the alligator croc, man, because he's a legend, and yeah, he needs to have like a Star of the Year award, I reckon, something like that. That was this week's news, guys and girls. It is the last week's news of the summer. We will be back in the autumn with some possibly better structured and better reported stories, but who would want that from the Grom? You can get that from BBC or NBC or any of the other news outlets that don't want to give you the real facts. They just want to force feed you a narrative. Did I say it? Yes, I did, but who cares? It's the last one of the summer. Let's get it off of our chests. Now back to the main show.
Good evening, ladies and gentlemen. You are now tuned in to Friday Night Live with the Grom.
Well, that was a bit shabby, wasn't it? And there's one cough. I need a cough meter in the bottom left-hand corner so that every time I decide to choke myself to death on a cough, it comes up saying one cough. But Did you enjoy that? Were the stories kind of that good? As I say every week, it seems like it's proving harder and harder as these weeks have gone on to actually find kind of funny, out there, weird or wacky stories. I know we tend to get there and we have a little something for you, but I tell you what, it seems remarkable that good news is not the best news and that only bad news makes for good news, if that makes sense. Seems very bizarre, and I don't quite know where I stand on this, and I don't want to get all like conspiracy theory because I don't have a tin hat to put on the Friday night show yet. I'll get to it. But it just seems quite bizarre that if you go hunting for wacky, weird or funny stories, that so many of them seem to be dated from months gone by. And it seems to be proving kind of a little bit crazy to keep up to date and keep you lovely people up to date with the fun or with the maybe actually kind of humbling stories that make you feel warm and fuzzy inside instead of feeling, oh my God, I hate this world, I want to watch it all burn. Because I don't know about you guys and girls, I am probably a very big hypocrite in saying that I don't pay too much attention to real news. I don't know if that's the right term. As I say, my brain is kind of a little bit fuzzy and feels like cotton wool at the minute. But I don't tend to tune into mainstream media because if I'm brutally honest, it does seem, and I don't want to be forcing misinformation or hate speech or any other kinds of nasty stuff on you lovely people on a Friday night, but it does just seem like mainstream media stick to a certain narrative and force a certain agenda regardless of which way they are reporting the story. Now, I understand that most channels, and certainly certain channels in particular, do try to report with at least or as least biased as possible. And yeah, let's just say, without digging myself into too much of a dangerous hole on this subject, it just seems like there aren't many outlets there that, I don't know, you guys and girls may remember this, where at the end of the day or at the end of a news report many moons ago, they might actually turn around and say, to end the news this evening, we have this beautiful story about something awesome. And it doesn't seem like they do that anymore. So here on Friday Night Live, we try to bring you the best and the funniest, weird and the wackiest news. But as I say, it's proving rather hard to do so. So on that, let me flick this up. And let's just say, if you are just trudging through the joys of social media and you find weird and wacky stories and you feel like this is Friday Night Live news, please hit me up, send it to this email address, maybe entitle the subject Friday Night News, and maybe you might even see the story that you came across come up here live on the show, and yeah, you might just think, man, I was the guy that blew that story. So that's the vibe. There has been a few people that have brought up stories and a few have been used already. And it's just nice to have you guys involved with what we do here on a Friday night. I say we, what I do here on a Friday night. Because yes, there was one show, it was possibly the best show that the Friday Night Live crew has ever produced. It was the only show that we ever produced with a crew, and it was probably the best one yet. A lot of viewers have said it was awesome to have me with a co-host, and I'm still singing the praises of the executive producer of that show as well, because let's just say, as mishaps went, I think we done blooming well when we had like more than just old kooky me delivering what was going on in the evening. So yeah, that's another thing we might actually try to execute better going into the autumn and winter months, to actually get a few more co-hosts involved, try to get the Grom a little bit more mobile of a Friday night, and just bring you a little bit more fun and madness between now and Christmas. That is the plan. Whether we execute it and whether we manage to pull it off, that, my friend, is a completely different story. So, talking of stories and being away from the news, but probably stepping into territory where maybe we could get pulled off air. Who blooming knows? Did you happened to see the Dispatches show that was released, I want to say, and aired last Saturday in regards to a certain comedian, and also quite a big, I would consider to be, YouTuber. It was a very interesting show, and as much as I will openly admit, I do believe that the comedian in question is very much a wolf in sheep's clothing when it comes to certain narratives that he delivers. However, in all fairness, if I was to go off of the evidence that were provided in that show alone, bearing in mind that they took over a year to collaborate and, configure or collate, basically, it took them a year to put that show together. Now, bearing in mind the evidence that they actually managed to deliver to us as the viewers in that time was a little bit rough around the edges. It was almost as rough around the edges as a good old-fashioned Friday Night Live with the Grom. And I'd just be interested, without trying to, completely, blow up the chat. Did you see Dispatches? What did you think to the stories that they brought up in it? And if we played a game out of a 1 to 10, how many of the stories or individuals' accounts, maybe, are possibly incriminating? Because, if you want the Grom's take on it, I do believe that there were 1 or 2 accounts in that documentary or that show, in which case the gentleman in question needs to answer for, and I do believe he did break laws. However, with a lot more of them, I don't think that is the case, and without going too deep into it or putting ourselves into possible liable or sticky situations, excuse the pun, that I don't think that there was really too much about that narrative that seemed like it was solid. And it was very interesting, and again, I don't have a tin hat, but if I had it to a don, I would say that maybe, just maybe, they're going after said comedian for one reason and one reason only, and that is to quiet the voice that is seems, and as I said in the beginning of this, that I do believe he could be quite possibly a wolf in sheep's clothing. However, I am always open to be proved wrong, and I can only ever go on the information, and apart from that, everything else is my own opinion. But I do believe, for what he's been talking in at least the last year, seems to be like he's trying to put a voice to the voiceless. And in that case, I do have to kind of maybe just turn an ear and listen from a distance. And a lot of the times, the things that he's been uprooted for being all of the above, conspiracy theorist, Fruit Loop and nutter, I tend to agree with what he's saying over the people that are trying to shout horrible things back at him, because it does seem like he is trying to have a very open mind and listen and do all of the research along with the team that runs his show on YouTube. And it's very interesting because he does seem to have pulled the right strings to have put himself in the right position to receive a lot of flack for it. So very, very peculiar story, very, very peculiar Dispatches, because for many years I've always been a great lover of the show Dispatches, because they tend to really go into places where nobody else is going, and they tend to get a lot of information and do a lot of footwork. However, this one kind of felt a little bit fishy on the outside, but who am I to say? It is quite interesting though, because just as I broadcast this live, I did see that the man in question has put a video out, I think an hour ago, on his YouTube channel, and it'd be very interesting. So just putting that one out there for you guys and girls. If you did see the Dispatches and you have watched or followed his channel for any amount of time, there is a new video up and it might be worth just tuning in for. Apart from that, yes, the madness is real, and yes, you've named the man himself in the chats. I'm glad you did, because I don't want to be the guy that triggers off the algorithm that sends the robots round to my house to zap me, brainwash me, and take me to an area of 23 in the UK and make me forget what my left nipple does, because it doesn't do a lot, but it's still attached to my body and I like it that way. So yeah, as you can see, all of this is complete gibberish. It's madness, and I am under the flu or cold symptoms. So banish every word that comes out of my mouth on this show tonight, because none of it can be trusted, and I don't know what I'm going on about. But yeah, Dispatches, go check it out. Outed on the Grom live. Yeah, you heard it here first, guys and girls. But anyway, moving on to more positive things and trying to be a little bit more optimistic and spread the cheer and the fun and the awesomeness. That is the Friday night. If that doesn't make you smile, I don't know what will. Everybody loves a minion. And trust me when I say, if I did ever come across a genie that gave me 3 wishes, the first wish would be for minions, the second wish would be more minions, and the third wish would to be have a world full of minions. So yes, I'm not completely bonkers, but if anybody does know of a lamp with a genie in it, please pass it my way so I can order up lots of minions. Real ones, that is, not yellow ones that have batteries in them that I have to operate myself. So let's kind of try to keep some continuity to the madness that is the Friday Night Live. This week we do have a Shine the Light, and like I've said in weeks gone by, if you do want to have somebody featured in this next section, please again hit me up on the email address. Send your Shine a Light, I was going to say victim then, but that's probably not a good word to announce on a live. If you have a candidate or somebody that you look up to, cherish, admire, adore, or somebody that's made a huge impact on your life, please, again, feel free, hit me up on this email address below, and just, again, title it Shine a Light, and it's something that I will try to feature in the shows. As it's gone so far, there's been some awesome people recommended, and if I'm honest, I could spend an entire show just shining a light on people that I think deserve this moment themselves. So, as none the further ado, let's get the old buttons right, and let's get this next segment underway. So, this week on a Shine the Light, I'm rewinding a couple of weeks. And I would like to split this week, as it is the last week of the summer. There's 2 people that I've wanted to shine a light on this week, or these last couple of weeks, and I've just not got round to doing it because people have been actually sending in people that they want to have a light shine on. So I haven't been able to steal the limelight and just willy-nilly sort of deliver it to the people that I want. However, actually, there's been a lot of people that I want to shine the light on. And do you know what? I think the way that I'm going to do it this week is I'm going to shine the light on the likes of the Cockney Buddha, Chill Adventures, Scramble Joe, Billy, Dan Cov, Van Life Wonder, Maria, Chris the Coffee Guy, Necro Beam, Peter Dyer. Just trying to sieve back through the people that have got in on these chats and the lives. And this is not to take away anybody that is a first-time viewer, but this is just to shine the light specifically on all of you guys that have been here since day one and just shown so much love. The other thing, more so, the person in question, or the 2 people in question that I did want to shine the light on at some point this season, was Scramble Joe and also Billy, or Uncle Billy, as he's known to us close to him. And I want to say both people are here tonight, but I just want to show some love on those, because both those individuals have sent me some awesome things in the last couple of weeks. If you watch the vlog, you will see that I got an amazing collection of maps delivered by Billy. And Billy, if you are here and you're still tuned in, my friend, after last week's show, I actually decided that I was far too tired to read the letter. But Saturday morning, I woke up, I brewed myself a coffee, and I went through all 3 pages of the letter. And dude, thank you. Thank you so much for, 1, taking the time out of your day to collect up those maps. 2, to mark all of the areas that you did and all the points of interest on those maps. But most of all, 3, to actually put them in an envelope, address them to me, do the amount of detail that you did on the back of the envelope, and just send it across the pond. So, dude, I appreciate the hell out of that. And also, much love to the man that I like to call Scrambly Joe, just because if you're ever a viewer of the show Friends, I always just think of Shovelly Joe, but I always think Scrambly Joe. It's not, it's Scramble Joe. And maybe it's just my madness that does this to me. But he's also a fellow YouTuber, and you should go and check out his channel. He would probably more than likely say he is merely a beginner in the world of surfing, but I can tell you one thing, his edits are absolutely awesome. The places that he's visited are just out of this world. And I tell you what, the guy just seems to have a lot of fun. So he's got to learn the old Grommer thing or two. You need to put that in a self-addressed envelope and fire it this way, Joe. Because, dude, you seem to be just absolutely doing your very best to pursue the dream. And it looks like you're having a whale of a time with the Action 4. But it more so looks like you're having a whale of a time with surfing. And I just love it, dude. So appreciate the hell out of you taking the time out to send me the t-shirts and the shorts. Thank you so much. And I just appreciate you being a viewer and a supporter of what I do. And thank you, dude. Thank you so much. Thank you to everybody that's taken time out in these last couple of weeks to tune into the Friday Night Lives. And also, more so, thank you for just getting into the chats, having such an awesome community vibe amongst you all. And also a huge shout out to everybody that has been like a one-time like doer or somebody that's just got into the chats, because I know it's not easy for everybody to sort of jump in on the lives when we actually fire up at 11:15 at night, especially for the people this side of the pond. And I just want to say a massive thanks to everybody that kind of just gets in there and has this amazing sort of banter with each other, and everybody seems to make everybody seem welcome. And I see it as we start up the show that everybody's checking in, and as someone checks in, everyone's like, hey Joe, how's it going? Hey, Dan's here. Hey, you know, and I'm loving that, man. Like I don't know if you see my video, my vlog that I dropped in the week, which was off the back of Nate Black's video on YouTube. Where he was saying if he could ask every YouTuber 2 questions, one of which would be, what do you want from YouTube? And I kind of done a bit of a reply. If I'm brutally honest, and I'll be honest with you guys and girls, because you know me, I actually done it to just see how well the algorithm would perform if, one, I added quite a big YouTuber. 2, I know he is somebody that does channel reviews. And I thought, you know what? The Grom don't usually play the game. He don't poke like analytics, and he doesn't play hashtags that actually rank high on a search. So just for once, let's do a video in sort of answering of a big boy YouTuber's video and just see what happens. And in the grand scheme of things, it's not performed how I expected it to. I kind of thought maybe the algorithm or the gentleman in question, Mr. Nate Black, might even see the video, might leave a comment, and who knows? Who knows what the story could tell? But grand scheme of things, it did give me quite a good opportunity to actually just put out there, yet again, the reasons why I do my YouTube channel. And if you're an avid watcher, you'll see that it's not about the money. It's not about the views. It's sure as hell not about the numbers. It's always about the community. And it's about trying to build some form of something that I kind of feel proud of, or at least feel some acceptance in. Because if I'm brutally honest, no matter how good or how much time or effort I put into my vlogs, I never feel like I'm very much good at anything that I do. And so without trying to get a big R or like trying to win over the crowd with the sob story, let's just say on a very humble note, I do what I do because I enjoy doing it. And if you see the video at the end, it was a case of one thing that I have found through doing YouTube is an awesome collective of just exceptional human beings that remarkably see life very similar to me. In the fact that they do what they do because they enjoy doing it, but they don't think that they're very good at what they do. And I'm just going to tell you and remind you, lovely people, on this beautiful Friday evening, that I will say, each and every one of you suffer the same problem that I do, guys and girls. You're actually really bloody good at what you do. And everything that you put out, whether it's social media or whether it's video content or whether it's, I don't know, making flyers, you're absolutely remarkable at what you do. And I'm not going to say it because it'd make me a whopping great big hypocrite. But take it from me, you're pretty bloody awesome. And I hope that maybe in time, as I can believe more in myself, I hope you guys can do too. So, yeah. But the biggest thing is, wow, I've got to be thankful for the universe that we've all crossed paths, and that wherever this journey takes us, I'm glad that I've got to know you, because it's bloody awesome. And at least one thing good comes of it is that our paths crossed, and who knows what the rest of the journey may have in store for us. So there is the madness. There's a shine of light on just all you lovely people that make what I do so much fun and so pleasurable. And if only I could make a shine the light segment on all of you individually, I bloody well would. Maybe one day I will produce a documentary and you can all star in it. Who blooming knows? But on that note, I'm not going to keep you much longer. I just want to say a huge thanks to everybody that supported the Friday Night Live so far. Please don't forget about us. We're only going away for what I would like to say is 3 weeks. I'm not away for that entirety, but as Fridays go, I won't be here for the next 3, I think. But we will be back. Stay tuned. Don't forget to hit the notification bell and the stupid other things that you've got to do on YouTube, so that when I do post my next Friday Night Live, you'll be made aware. And until then, I hope you all have a fantastic time. I hope you stay safe. I hope you stay positive. Most of all, I hope you stay focused, and I hope you have a whale of a time in the time that I'm gone. And we'll be back real soon. But the vlogs will be going up daily, so please, tune in, see the fun and games. I'm hoping there's going to be some pretty awesome content along the way. It's going to be a very leisurely holiday. We don't plan on doing any excursions or anything dramatic. It is merely to go and be lazy gits, sit by a swimming pool or by the sea, and do not a lot apart from watch the day go by and just chill out and catch a little vibe. And from my point of view, to actually spend some time with my girlfriend, bless her, because she hasn't seen a lot of me this past year. So, yeah, good times, good vibes. Apart from that, this is the Grom signing off. It is a Friday Night Live. I hope you've had an awesome show. I hope you have a fantastic weekend. And don't forget about us. We'll see you real soon. So until then, stay awesome, guys and girls, and I'll see you real soon.
Good evening, ladies and gentlemen. You are now tuned in to Friday Night Live with the Grom.